Another Hamas leader has been eliminated in Gaza. In a brilliantly precise airstrike, the IDF took out yet another Hamas senior leader inside a hospital in Khan Younis. Israel's offensive in the Gaza Strip is ramping up big time. At the same time, the US is trying to find a country that will take all the Palestinians in Gaza. All this and more on today's show. I'm Josiah Hilton, and this is the Israel Guys. Just last night, in a brilliant and extremely precise airstrike, the IDF eliminated one of the senior members of Hamas's political bureau. His name was Ismail Barhoum, who actually oversaw the terrorist organization's Charitable Institution Association, that's what it's called, which supervises 400 charities that donate funds to Hamas. These charities donating funds to Hamas. The IDF and the ISA confirmed on Sunday evening that they precisely struck a key terrorist in the Hamas terrorist organization who was operating inside of the Nasser hospital compound inside of Khan Younis. The IDF official X account posted this: "The strike was conducted following an extensive intelligence gathering process and with precise munitions in order to mitigate the harm to the surrounding environment as much as possible. Hamas exploits civilian infrastructure while brutally endangering the Gazan population, cynically using an active hospital as a shelter for planning and executing murderous terrorist attacks in a direct violation of international law." Now, it has already been extensively proved that Hamas uses hospitals as bases for their planning and operations, confirming just how sick and twisted Hamas actually is. The IDF, on the other hand, spent a long time gathering intelligence and creating and executing an extremely precise airstrike so as to limit damage to the hospital, just hitting and eliminating the terrorists. The strike was actually caught on several different live news reports, and further footage from the scene of the strike shows the very, very little damage to the actual hospital building itself. The Palestinian health officials claim that the strike killed 5 people, but obviously we know that the Palestinian health officials are not to be trusted in any way as to the accuracy of casualty number reports. Channel 12 News reported, "The strike was one of dozens reported across the territory Sunday and into the early hours of Monday, with a separate strike in the Khan Younis area reportedly killing a senior Hamas education official." The IDF also indicated it was preparing to expand ground operations, redeploying an armored division that had been stationed on the border with Lebanon. In the last several days, the IDF has been striking hundreds of terrorist targets throughout the Gaza Strip using fighters from the Israeli Air Force. And on Sunday, yesterday, the IDF expanded its ground operations in Gaza, moving back into Rafah and giving an evacuation order to the Palestinian civilians of the Tel Sultan neighborhood of Rafah, warning that the area has become an active combat zone. As the IDF moves its ground forces back into different parts of Gaza, it's becoming an active combat zone, and they're ordering the evacuation of Palestinian civilians. The IDF also announced that they were adding a 3rd division to the ground forces in Gaza, division number 36. Guys, we'll be right back in just a second, but first, I wanted to tell you that our friends at Blessed by Israel are excited to let everyone know that they have extra virgin olive oil available once again from Israel. They offer 4 different types of delicious olive oil, each with its unique flavor, and it gets better because every purchase from Blessed by Israel is an investment in a strong Israel. Every time you buy something from Blessed by Israel, you are helping strengthen small businesses and families of faith working to make Israel flourish. These families include the Gross family and their multi-generational organic herb farm, and Shlomo Keshet, who started Avva Soaps to provide a good job and a loving environment for his son El Natam and their other young people who have special needs. Head over to blessedbyisrael.com to purchase olive oil and many other boutique beautiful products and make your impact today. Enjoy olive oil and other wonderful products like honey, tea, coffee, cosmetics, spices, and so much more. Guys, head over to Blessed by Israel, check out their products, use code INVEST for $5 off your first order at blessedbyisrael.com. Click the link in the description below. In some very interesting news, a report came out yesterday saying that 1,000 Gazans have left the enclave since the beginning of March. These are what the world calls innocent civilians in Gaza. They have left Gaza, the Gaza enclave, since the beginning of March. So the coordinator of government activities in the territories, COGAT is the acronym for it, has recently seen an increase in Gazans voluntarily leaving the Strip. On average, 200 to 300 Gazans have requested to leave the enclave every week, with over 35,000 total requests since the beginning of the war. So in March, leaving 1,000 Palestinians actually leaving the Gaza Strips, the Palestinians, these civilians, are actually starting to trickle out. An additional 600 Gazans are expected to leave just this week. Speaking of Gazans leaving the Gaza Strip, the U.S. administration has been working tirelessly to find countries willing to take the Palestinians. An Arab report said that the U.S. has sent a final offer to Egypt to accept Gazans, asking them to accept Gazans. The U.S. asked Egypt to take 500 to 700,000 Gazans in exchange for billions of dollars in aid to support Egypt's economy, which reportedly is not doing very good. The U.S. also clarified that if the Egyptians refuse the offer, then the U.S. would offer this offer to a different country and offer that aid in exchange for accepting Gazans to a separate country, and that the U.S. would also stop all current aid given to Egypt, definitely putting a lot of pressure on the nation of Egypt to take Gazan civilians. Good news in Judea and Samaria. Israel's security cabinet has just approved a plan to grant independence to 13 Jewish settlements in Judea and Samaria, separating them from their neighboring communities. The finance minister, Bezalel Smotrich, announced the decision on Sunday, saying that settlements will ultimately be recognized as independent entities. Now, this move follows the approval of tens of thousands of housing units across the biblical heartland of Israel. Smotrich declared, quote, "We continue to lead a revolution of normalization and regulation in the settlements. Instead of hiding and apologizing, we raise the flag, build, and settle." The decision has drawn criticism, surprise, surprise, from the Palestinian authorities. The Palestinian Foreign Ministry condemned this approval, viewing it as a disregard for international legitimacy and resolutions. Hamas also denounced the move. I don't know who's asking Hamas, describing it as a desperate attempt to impose realities on the ground and consolidate colonial occupation on Palestinian lands. So currently, approximately 700,000 Israelis live in Judea and Samaria, and even though the world contests Israel's right to the land, the Jewish people have the obvious historical and biblical ties to the land. Not only that, but Israel has a God-given right to the land of Israel. Pro-settler politicians, is what the media calls them, here in Israel, including Bezalel Smotrich, have been stepping up their efforts in advocating for Israeli sovereignty in the quote-unquote West Bank. Smotrich highlighted that these 13 settlements were previously considered part of their parent communities, which caused significant administrative challenges in the government. So, guys, this is really, really good news coming from Israel. Obviously, anytime a new Jewish community is built inside of Judea and Samaria is really good news. And these communities have been here for a while, but have not been recognized as independent communities, and they are finally getting that status that they deserve. Guys, thanks for watching today's show. Don't forget to buy products from blessedbyisrael.com and get $5 off your first order with our special coupon code INVEST. Link is in the description below. Make sure to subscribe and get the conversations going down in the comments below. If you'd like to support our work here at The Israel Guys, head over to theisraelguys.com/donate. And as always, stop listening to the lies and propaganda and connect with the truth of what is happening in Israel. We'll be back soon here at The Israel Guys.